Hi guys, this is a video all about how to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers, okay? I've seen some of you guys are a little confused on how this works. There will be another video on how to convert mixed numbers into improper fractions, but for right now we're just talking about converting improper fractions to mixed numbers, okay? So first of all, we need to understand what in the world is an improper fraction and what in the world is a mixed number. So let me show you an example of each one. Okay, here we go. We have 3 halves. This is an improper fraction, okay? Now, one of the big giveaways that it is an improper fraction, as in a not proper fraction, is that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. See, 3 is bigger than 2, okay? So that tells us, whoa, we've got more pieces in this than one whole. We have more pieces than this than in one whole. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you a picture of what that looks like here. Okay, here I've written another improper fraction. I've written 4 halves. 4 halves. And again, we know it's an improper fraction because the numerator, the top number, is bigger than the denominator, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and represent what does 4 halves look like as a representation. I'm going to go ahead and shade that in for you, okay? Now you can see I've written here a regular old whole. I haven't shaded anything yet. You can see I've divided it into halves because that's what our denominator is telling us to do. So I'm going to go ahead and shade this in, and we have 4 of them, okay? So I'm going to count them as I shade them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, look what we got here. We have 4 halves, and look how I've written this. Oh my gosh, now here, when we were talking about our halves, 2 halves we know makes 1 whole. So we know this is 1 whole right here. That's 1 whole. And look over here. We kept going. We kept shading in our halves because we had more than 1 whole of halves. It's kind of a mouthful, huh? So looky here, we filled up another hole. We filled up another hole. And we have another hole right here. So we've got 1 hole and 1 hole. Add them together, we have 2 holes. 4 halves is the same thing as 2, all right? So as we, if we were wanting to write our improper fraction 4 halves as a mixed number, it would just be 2. Okay, well that's a whole number. We don't have a fraction, fortunately, with that. But you will see in a second what we'll do with that. Okay, so again, going back to our improper fraction, 3 halves is the same thing as 1 and 1/2. Now again, I could draw a picture of what 3 halves looks like, but I'll let you think about that for just a sec. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to teach you a strategy that you can use to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, okay? Now, I want to show you down here, why might you want to do that? Why might you want to turn this, which looks happy and easy to understand as itself, into a mixed number? Why is that? Well, looky here, look down here. 22/4. Oh my gosh, how much is that? 22/4. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have to draw it out? Am I gonna, just like how I did the 4 halves, am I gonna have to draw out 22 of those? Oh my goodness, that would take me forever. Well, look at this, 83/5. Goodness, can you imagine writing out fifths and you draw 83 of them? Oh my gosh. So now you can kind of see improper fractions. They're kind of hard to imagine. They're kind of hard to work with. And that's why we like to convert our improper fractions into mixed numbers. So here's the strategy to do it. All you got to do is divide the top number, the numerator, by the bottom number, the denominator. Again, divide the top number by the bottom number, right? And see what's left over, okay? Now, the reason we can do that is because, remember, fractions are division problems. This fraction bar in the middle is actually a division bar, okay? So let me go ahead and set it up. 22 divided by 4 is another way we can say that. 22 divided by 4 is the same thing as 22/4. So let me go ahead and write that out. 22, that's going to go inside of our division bracket here. 22 divided by 4. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Well, I know 4 can't go into 2. It's 2 is too small. But I do know that 4 can go into 20, right? And I know that it can go 5 times. So I'm going to go ahead and write that right above the ones. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So I'll go ahead and, if you remember your steps for how to solve long division problems, we're going to next multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we're going to subtract to see what the remainder is. And the remainder is 2. Okay? So now let me show you, this top number here is representing how many wholes you're getting out of this fraction. Okay? So remember, when we're talking about an improper fraction, we're saying that it's bigger than 1 whole. And you can see here, we got the 1 whole out of this. Okay? So basically, what this number at the top tells us is how many wholes we're getting out of it. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and write that down here. We're getting 5 wholes out of 22 fourths. We're going to get 5 wholes out of that. Okay? Well, we also had a remainder down here. We had a remainder of 2. Okay? This tells us what our numerator of the fraction that's left over is going to be. Because remember, when we have a mixed number, we have a whole number plus a fraction. Okay? So this number down here, this 2, is representing our new numerator. Okay? I'm going to write that right here. 2. Oh my gosh. What's our denominator going to be? I'm so confused. What do we do? What do we do? Oh. Well, here's the trick. Your denominator does not change. We're still dealing with fourths here. So we're still looking at 4. 4 as our denominator. So we'll just go ahead and we'll put our 4 down here. Our answer is 5 2/4. Ding, 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 ding. I bet you can simplify this to its simplest form. 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. Our final answer is 5 1/2. 5 1/2. Okay? So that means if we were to take our improper fraction here, 22 fourths, and turn it into a mixed number, we're going to use division here. We're going to divide it by 4, divide it by our denominator. We're going to get our whole number here of 5, remainder of 2. That's going to be our new numerator. We're still dealing with fourths. We're getting 2/4 as our fraction of our mixed number. We can simplify that, 5 1/2. Okay? Try 83/5 on your own. Pause the video here and try that one on your own. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and try to see if we can work out 83/5. Okay? So again, we're going to take the top number, and that's going to be inside of our division bar here. And our denominator is going to be our divisor. Okay, so we put that on the outside. 5 goes into 8 one time. So we're going to draw 5 here, and we can go ahead and put a 0 for a placeholder here. We subtract to see what our remainder is. We get a 3. And we can also bring down the 3 here, 33. Oh my goodness. 5, the closest we can get for 33 is 6, because we know 5 times 6 is 30. We go ahead and subtract here. We get a remainder of 3. Okay? So again, we look up top here. This is going to tell us our whole number. We get 16 as our whole number of our mixed number, remember up here. And then our fraction, look down here, here's our remainder. That's going to be our new numerator. We're going to draw our fraction here with our new numerator of 3. We just got it from down here. And our denominator didn't change. We're still talking about fifths. Our final answer, we'll circle it, is 16 3/5. 83/5 is the same thing as 16 3/5. Okay? All right, so hopefully that made sense. Again, feel free to watch the video if that'll help you out. Until next time, toodaloos.